Hello, dear viewers. As it turns out, today's topic actually originally was going to be in, hang on, I had a second ago, was going to be the description of yesterday's video, which is yesterday's video, even though I uploaded this morning because of stupid site maintenance. Now, the idea is this: the American Bill of Rights seems like a prioritized list. Firstly, you have the right to not have to be shut up, and the right to go to whatever church you want, and the right to say whatever silly thing you want in the newspaper, regardless of how much it wrecks people's reputation. And then there's the Second Amendment, which is the right to keep and arm bears, or if you're not into that, keep and bear arms, supposedly so you can shoot the government if they cause too much trouble. Speaking as someone who used to live in Texas, I'm not making this up, there are literally 5 guns per capita down there, and I presume that's just the registered ones. So, yeah, really mind what you say down there. Then the Third Amendment is the thing about quartering of soldiers, and they're like, nope, we don't want the Army staying in our house unless they pay us. Yeah. And for the food and the beds and the mess they make, and of course you got the Marines over, then that's even worse. And well, look at the place that's still standing the next morning. And then the Fourth Amendment is the right not to have. No, the Fourth Amendment is met with the soldiers. The Third Amendment is against the government nicking your stuff without, you know, a warrant or a good reason, which usually comes with a warrant, except if it's a special kind of good reason like compensation, because they want your land because they're going to build a bypass, and then the plant gets destroyed anyway, so that doesn't really matter. Right, on the other hand, and then you start getting into, you know, the no double jeopardy, the right to a trial by jury, and then a really big one which they insisted on. This leads to the joke that everything in America is legal except when prohibited, in that rights in the Bill of Rights aren't necessarily the only ones you have, unless it's actually against the law. Like, no one has the right to throw someone out of a very tall building because well, if you hit the ground from that height, you tend not to survive. So there's right to life, I think, there. I have to wonder what the Canadian Charter of Fundamental Rights and Freedoms, how it's sorted out. Maybe. Hey, let's have a look at it. Where's my link? I had a bunch of links. Canadian. Here we go. Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Fundamental freedoms. Freedom of conscience and religion, freedom of thought, belief, opinion, peaceful assembly, and freedom of association. The right to vote. Let's see, these are Canadian rights. This is the priorities of this. The same thing, freedom of speech and everything. And the freedom of the right to vote. Then this is the big priority: the right not to have Parliament be in session for too long. Or the same Parliament be in power for too long, because you're like, no, that guy's a dick, and what am I with? And he goes, I decide when the whole elections is to be. And they go, it's in the charter, you have to step down now. Why? Because it's been 5 years. And then they hold general election, and we get a new PM, or possibly the same guy, because there's no limit on terms. Let's see. Every citizen has the right to enter, remain in, or leave Canada. Mostly enter and remain in. You can't send me to America no matter how bad it's been. Haha. Every citizen of Canada can move around anywhere in any province and get a job in any province, which is pretty fucking important because I want to eat. And to eat, you need money, and to get money, you need either a job or a shotgun and a mask. But the shotgun and the mask is frowned upon, so most people go for the job approach. Legal rights, legal rights, search and seizure. You can't be put in prison without writ of distrainment. If you're arrested, you must be told exactly why you're being arrested. They can't just say, we're throwing you in jail. I want to know why. I don't like your hat. It's a lousy reason. I'm gonna get you locked for this false arrest. Charged with an offense, blah blah blah. Right to attorney in here? Or is that just the states? Reasonable, speedy trial. Told what you did exactly. No self-incrimination. Proves an innocent until proven guilty. Well, that's unlike high school at all. not to be denied unreasonable bail. Not be tried more than once for the same offense. And obviously, you have to change the law between you getting sentenced and you getting punished, because apparently they can be slow about that sort of thing. You get the lesser one, which is pretty cool. What do you think about it? Self-crimination interpreter. Oh, because Canada's bilingual, we have the right to be tried in French if we want. Of course, I don't particularly care. I speak English. Well, I speak English and French and German, but I don't think that I have the right to be tried in German. They're just like, no, seriously, just quit being pretentious, do it in English. You seem to be speaking just fine, and go, no, ich do not, my head has fallen off. And, well, watch this. And then there's actually a huge bit here about the, one of the official languages of Canada. And New Brunswick's being singled out here because apparently they... either because they wrote this back when New Brunswick wasn't a province, which doesn't make any sense because New Brunswick was definitely a province by the time they wrote this thing, or they would really be special, because I suppose, let's see, in Ontario and everywhere else they only speak English. I mean, hold on, in Ontario, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, the territories they speak English. In British Columbia they speak Chinese. In Nunavut they speak Iqaluit as well as English. In Quebec they speak French. In Nova Scotia they speak Gaelic. In PEI they don't exist. In Newfoundland they speak... no one knows what they speak in Newfoundland. And in New Brunswick apparently is the only province that speaks both of them on a regular basis. Because if you try to speak English in Quebec, well, I'll just stand by with a video camera and go, this is funny. Blah, blah, blah. Language and educational rights. Apparently you have the right to be taught in French. That'll be fun. Oh, and the rights in this charter do not necessarily mean they're the only rights you get, which is good, because rights of the Aboriginal peoples, I'm not going to go into that because I don't know much about Aboriginal issues. Anyway, Mary Toft, this is the feature Wikipedia article. Now, Mary Toft was an Englishwoman from Godalming, Surrey, who in 1726 became a subject of considerable controversy when she hoaxed doctors and believed she was giving birth to rabbits. How do you manage to prove... I mean, were the doctors just not paying attention when she was doing this birthing, or what? She became... oh wait, 1726, they probably weren't allowed to watch, or something. It was bad manners. She became pregnant in 1726 and later miscarried. Apparently fascinated by a rabbit she had seen while working, she claimed to give birth to parts of animals. This woman is just bizarre. This is a featured article. Well written, or just they wanted to call everyone's attention to it. Apparently the King's Royal Surgeon actually thought this was interesting and went and looked at her and somehow figured out she was telling the truth. I mean, I don't know how you give birth to parts of rabbits, let alone whole rabbits if you're not a rabbit. Obviously, and obviously their investigation methods were like, I'm going to look at you. Those marks are clearly from rabbit's claws and not a baby's teeth or anything. That's just weird. Oh, she eventually owned up and was imprisoned. And then was mocked in public because apparently she screwed over some doctors' heads, and you get in trouble for that. Anyway, dear viewers, remember this: metal is forever. Good day.